Maxon's Cinema4D and its claim to fame. While industry giants like Autodesk's Maya or 3ds Max still claim dominion over the pipelines of studios and freelancers around the world, Cinema4D has slowly made a name for itself as one of the most formidable 3D suites, especially for motion graphic and interaction designers. Here's why. Shallow learning curve. Unlike most other software, Cinema4D doesn't take long to get used to. A little tinkering here and there could get a novice C4D user cranking out beautiful renders in a week's time. Workspace presets lay out every essential tool for executing operations for 3D modeling, shading, animation, sculpting, texture painting, and more. Scene management in Cinema4D is also quite easy to understand, and any element in a scene can be found and tweaked without having to jump from panel to panel. Maxon did a great job of structuring the program, so users trying to learn C4D can breeze through the basics without having to worry about crashes or troubleshooting issues less relevant to production, as is often the case with other major 3D apps. Rich online resource. Cinema4D rendering may not be discussed by as many online gurus as Maya or Max, but the ones out there consistently produce digestible and engaging content, partially because the program itself is elegant in handling the tasks that build up to a final result. Nick Campbell's Grayscale Gorilla, for example, has been a guiding hand for practically everyone starting out with Cinema4D. Nick's everyman appeal and enthusiasm have also made him easy for new users to identify with, and as his user base, and consequently C4DS, increased, he and his team began providing solutions for common setups in 3D production such as lighting presets, motion design plugins, and custom materials. Thanks to Nick and the rest of the guys at GSG, the road to a great Cinema4D render is shorter and smoother than ever. Tailor-made for a new class of CG artists. 3D CG art as the world knows it is still comprised mainly of photoreal still-life images, fleshed-out characters or creatures, vehicles, and architectural renders, but the last few years have given rise to a new breed of work brought about, in part, by Cinema4D. Abstract, audio-driven geometrical shapes in motion, deeper parallax effects on still images, and the integration of CG elements and photo enhancement, eventually became recognized as part of 3D motion graphics. C4D renders produced by motion graphics designers coming from 2D and 2.5D compositing programs like Adobe After Effects, offered new perspectives and approaches to creating 3D graphics, as well as new industry possibilities, and the people at Maxon have respected this trend. The later releases of C4D came with CineAware, which allowed users to work seamlessly between Cinema and After Effects, in real time. Improvements to object and camera tracking, camera projection, and the Espresso editor continue to make Cinema4D the first choice for MoGraph-oriented artists. Render farm support. The viability of a 3D ad for professionals often correlates to whether it has a presence among the different render farm solutions available. The demanding nature of the industry often makes being able to source the rendering of projects to a cloud-based rendering solution a necessity, as deadlines need to be met, including the time anticipation for turnarounds or last-minute changes. Because Cinema4D has become a prominent figure in the MoGraph, interaction design, and commercial industries, most render farms provide deep support for Cinema, and the external renderers available to it. With more and more productions featuring Cinema4D renders, it's evident Maxon's streamlined masterpiece will eventually make its way to the top of the 3D suite pecking order. If you are a Cinema4D user and is looking for a great farm to render your C4D project, you can visit garagefarm.net today. They're offering a $50 free rendering credit by simply registering to the site. You can test their farm with all its features enabled without having to commit.